Hi, my name is Leah Lewin Weiss, and this is my transformation of a problem of practice. So, the first graders that I currently work with have a dedicated hour out of their day for a block called Listening and Learning. The structure for listening and learning is the same every day. The teacher reads word for word out of a book, and the students sit on the rug while pictures are displayed digitally in the front of the room. So, this is the time of day that the teachers integrate social studies into the curriculum while also ideally increasing the students' comprehension skills. But unfortunately, listening and learning is the time of day that I notice the students' attention spans start to dwindle the most. Students are actively just not engaged during listening and learning. They are visibly distracted, and they're just not curious about the topics, which is a shame because, they're rich and fascinating stories. And social studies can be a time to make history come alive. And I just noticed that that's not really happening with the current model. On any given day, students will go through vocabulary, hear the story, and then have a few discussion questions. But even with all of that, that's still at the bottom of Bloom's taxonomy. So, Bloom's taxonomy is a way to categorize how complex the material is that students are receiving. And right now, listening and learning, or the way that it was before, is falling on the bottom of the pyramid in just the remembering and understanding categories. This is a basic understanding of the concepts, and basically, with this reinvention, I wanted to move up the taxonomy up to creation. So, a main goal of my transformation was to expand the students' opportunity to move past straight consumption and onto production. So, I took all of the class resources into consideration when redesigning listening and learning, but one article in particular was very helpful for me, and that was helping traumatized students learn. This article discussed research that found that traumatized students have a slower communicative development, and I'm currently in a city that unfortunately has a high number of traumatized students. So I really wanted to restructure this block based on that information and reshape listening and learning so that it wasn't all about verbal communication. In the new model, students have a choice of multiple different ways to gain information instead of relying solely on verbal communication. Another resource that I found very helpful when restructuring this listening and learning block was Bringing Inquiry-Based Learning into the Class by Trevor Mackenzie. So Mackenzie had that very helpful types of student inquiry image of children swimming in a pool that showed the gradual decrease of teacher directed instruction. So before, listening and learning was under the structured inquiry category, meaning that it was giving the students the least amount of agency. But after the transformation, students are now at the guided inquiry level, meaning that the teacher is still choosing the topic, but the students get to design their own learning paths and they actually have the opportunity to create work. The creation part of my transformation of the listening and learning block was heavily inspired by the Tinkering a Serious Play article by Bevan. Instead of just having the students hear stories about Benjamin Franklin and his inventions, I wanted the students to put themselves in his shoes and have the opportunity to invent something. And Bevan highlighted in Tinkering a Serious Play how important it is to just give students the materials and let them explore and play and just to see what they come up with. I think that this restructure of listening and learning would definitely increase student engagement because it's giving the students choices in their learning beyond just sitting and listening to a teacher. It's giving them choices to read a book, listen to an audio recording, watch a video, or explore an app. So they would have multiple ways to learn about a topic versus just one. And I also think it would increase engagement because students are allowed to be creative and build something with their hands. So thank you for listening. I am looking forward to hearing your feedback and improving upon this plan even more.